Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are going to be doing a Q&A. I'm so excited to just sit down and talk with you guys. I feel like I haven't just sat down and talked. I feel like I'm always in a vlog or doing my makeup and talking or I don't even know. But this is gonna be answering you guys' questions. I've gone through almost all of my comments and these are my most asked questions. So yeah, I'm really excited to answer them. So let's go and get into today's video. Okay, so the first question is, what is something you are proud of, and then what is something that you need to work on? So something I'm proud of is honestly my resilience when it comes to what happened to me. I feel like it's not, I think people see it, but at the same time, there's so much behind the scenes that people don't see that comes with being paralyzed. So I'm really proud of myself for being able to handle such a terrible situation and make it somewhat a good positive thing. And just the way I handled everything, I feel like that's something I'm really proud of myself for. And I still work on it. I'm not I still have bad days, but I'm really proud of how far I've come, what I've done since I've been paralyzed, and how I've made something that most people would see as a bad thing into something that's positive and good, and really made the best out of the situation. So that's something I'm proud of myself for. Something I'm not proud of myself for is I think I'm too hard on myself in the sense that if I have a bad day, I get mad at myself for feeling the way I'm feeling, and I'm working on it, and I know I have that issue, but I think I need to be more, accept, I don't know, just being okay with being not okay. I always make it in my head, I make it out to be oh, there's people that are worse off, but I feel if you always have that mindset, then it's good to have empathy for others, but at the same time you gotta have empathy for yourself, and you have to hey, okay, you're allowed to feel this way. Just because other people are literally in a worse situation doesn't mean that your situation isn't bad. And I feel that can go the same way if you're not paralyzed and you're just having a bad day, or you got a fight or with your mom or your family or whatever, and you're having a pity party for yourself. It's okay to have a pity party. It's just how you handle a situation after you get over what happened, I guess. I don't know. That's what I'm working on. So, all right, next question. What's the hardest part about being paralyzed? There's a few things. The actual act of being paralyzed is really tough on a day-to-day basis. But one thing that I think is hard for me to think about is the fact that I had to grow up so fast. I see my friends, and don't get me wrong, I love my friends, but in a sense, sometimes I feel like when I'm hanging out with some friends, it's tricky because their priorities are way different than my priorities, and it kind of turns me away in a sense. A lot of my friends since I've been paralyzed are in their 20s and even 30s, so it's weird because I'm only 16 and my best friends are 20, 21, 22, and in my head I'm I'm the same age as them, because in a sense I feel that way because I've just had to grow up so fast. So I think for me one of the hardest things is the fact that in a way I kind of lost a part of my childhood because I got injured so early. I got paralyzed when I was 13, and it's a weird concept to kind of grasp that I only had 13 years that I got to walk for. And don't get me wrong, I don't know what the future holds for me, but that is something that I think about, and how I lived in a hospital for almost a year, and then I still go to therapy twice a week, and there's so much that I still have to do to work on being paralyzed 3 years later. So it's weird. I hope that makes sense, but I think that's something that recently has been hard for me to accept that my life is going to be different. And even though I look at my other friends and they're out partying and having fun and, you know, having that like high school dream or whatever, I have to kind of get over the fact that just because my life doesn't look like their lives doesn't mean that my life isn't really, really good. So, yeah, I just think now I just have different goals and I have to accept that, and I have to, you know, figure out a way to, I guess, just live with the life that I have, if that makes sense. So that was a really long answer. These all are going to be really long. I'm a ranter. So yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Someone asked me if I'm insecure about my scar. So if you don't know, I had 2 surgeries on my back, on my spine, and I have a pretty gnarly scar. It goes from like the top of my neck to like mid back. So the answer is no. I've never been insecure about my scar. Honestly, I feel like it's pretty cool. It kind of is like a reminder of how far I've come, and I think when I see it, like, because I always wear like open back shirts and stuff like that. Like, if someone has an issue with my scar, like, that's their issue, not mine, to be honest with you. And I've never had someone be like, like, what is that? No, like, I just think it's cool. Yeah, never been insecure about it. Next question. Someone asked me, how are you? I'm really good. Honestly, I went through a really rough patch recently as far as just not being myself. I wasn't doing the things I was loving, and I was so focused on like doing perfect in school, and then when I wasn't doing perfect, I felt like a failure in a sense. Like, so that was really frustrating. And then I realized, look, Sydney, when it comes to school, no matter how hard you try, you have to accept that you're just not a school person. I'm a very creative person. I love to create everything. I don't know. And I love to do CrossFit, and I love to do water skiing. And when I'm not doing those things and I'm not doing the things that I love, I'm not going to be happy. So I kind of came to the conclusion that as much as school is important, you have to, you know, do the things that you love. Otherwise, everything else will fail, even school, even if you're trying so hard. So I had that realization, we moved on, and now we're doing really good. I'm super inspired recently with Single Soul, my clothing company or business, clothing brand. I don't even know. One of the 3. But I'm really inspired, and I'm so excited to see where Single Soul takes off. We've been doing pop-ups recently. I've been meeting people who like have been shopping our stuff forever, and it's the coolest feeling. And it's just really been like, I don't even know. It's boosting my like major serotonin. Like, I've been so happy, and everything else has been, even school's been better because I've been doing things I love. I started going back to CrossFit. Like, I literally didn't go to CrossFit for a month, and now like I'm really trying to prioritize that, because even though going to CrossFit on the way there, I don't know why this is, I literally like in my head every time I'm like, I don't want to go, like it'll be like 5 minutes before I'm like, I want to go, like I plan to go like the whole day, and then it's like 5 minutes before I'm like, I don't know, like, do I want to go? And then I leave and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so glad I went. So I'm really good. I'm a lot better than I was, and I'm excited for these upcoming months, and Christmas is coming up and the holidays, and that's just a really, really good season. I love this time of year. So I'm excited. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. I'm good. Okay. After being paralyzed, what was the hardest period for you? For me, I kind of go through ups and downs. I'm very much like a roller coaster when it comes to my feeling. And the funny thing is, a lot of people don't. I never show emotion. Like, if I cry, like, you really hurt me. Like I don't know. I'm not an emotional person. I have a lot of empathy for people. And I really can put myself in people's shoes, and I can feel bad for other people. But when it comes to myself, and I think this is why when I got paralyzed, not one time did I cry. Like, after I got paralyzed, not until I moved my toe out of pure happiness. I did not cry, not once. Did I have moments where it's like, what is going on? Like, is this even real? Like, what is happening? Yeah, like for sure. But I never cried. I never let myself like feel that emotion. And some might be like, okay, that's like unhealthy, but like it's just how I deal with that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I think for me though, the hardest part was when I came back from the hospital and it felt like everyone had moved on and I didn't really know where I fit in. I feel like my friends that were my friends were no longer my friends, so they made like new best friends. And that was really hard to grasp from going like having really close friends that you like would like hung out every like day, every weekend, and then literally like never hang out like ever. Um and that was really tricky for me to like handle. And then also getting back into life and getting used to people staring at you where you didn't have that problem before. It's a lot. And I think that, you know, you would think, oh, right when you find out you're paralyzed, like that's the hardest part. Don't get me wrong, that was a tough period, but I think it's way harder that initial stage when you go home. Does it get better? Yeah. Like trust me, when if you're in that situation, you are, you know, freshly injured and you're scared of what your life's gonna look like. Like, I promise you, like, life is so good once you realize that things are gonna look different um, and things are just gonna look different, but you have to learn to accept what happened to you, and things are so good. Like, who would have thought that I would have started a clothing brand at 15 and water skiing and planned to do competitive water skiing and like doing things that I truly, truly love? Like, that's a dream. And yeah, I might not be going to parties every weekend with my friends, but like, I think in the long run, what I'm doing right now is so much more valuable and I'm setting myself up for success versus, I don't know, like, don't get me wrong, I still have so much fun now, but I don't know, I'm just really happy. So if you're in that state where you're just not sure what life is gonna look like trust me, it gets so much better and you learn to live with it. And it's gonna be, you're gonna have hard days, but it's okay. Like, everything will be okay. Okay, someone said, what is it like going to high school in a wheelchair? Okay, going to high school in a wheelchair is very interesting. It's crazy, like my self growth from freshman year to now, like I was so self-conscious when people stare at me, and now I literally don't even see it. And I guarantee people still stare at me, I just don't even see it anymore. So I just think that's something that comes with time. But high school's good. I always say this, like, literally I think I have more, it's not true, but it's funny because it kind of, I think I have more friends that are like administrators. Like, every time I go through the hallways, every police officer, every principal, every like guidance counselor's like, hey Sydney, and I'm like with my friends, and then they always make fun of me like, oh, didn't realize you were hanging out with a celebrity. And I was like, honestly, I don't even know. You just become close with like all the faculty, I guess, and because you have to, like, because you have, like, you're different. Like, it's not like you have to figure out like fire plan drills, and if there's this situation, what do you do? Like, if there's a fire drill and I'm on the second floor, I can't use the elevator, so I have to get carried down the stairs. Like, you just have to have those conversations with your administrators, so you become close with them through that. And then also, like, I just love like the faculty at my high school, and so that's one thing. Also, everything else, high school is so normal in a wheelchair. Like, there's nothing different other than the fact that you just become besties with all the faculty. Like, I kid you not, like, there's not a single thing that's different. Like, I think at first people are curious about what happened to you, but once you get past like the few months where people are like, should I ask? Should I? No. Should I talk to her? Should I? You know what I mean? Like, because people don't know how to react when something's different or something they're not used to, and they want to be polite, so they don't know what to say. But once you get past that, it's honestly really good. High school's so normal. High school's so much fun. I love high school. And I've made amazing friends. So yeah, high school's great. Someone asked me, like, is it hard to like find friends? like, because she was basically saying, like, for me, it's hard to know if I have true friends or, like, I don't know. So with that, I think you have to look at it from, like, an outside perspective. I'm not the best at this. I feel like I also am the kind of person to kind of let people, like, walk over me or walk on me and not say anything. But I feel like, you know, if your friend, like, you have a good friend, if they're adding to your life and not, like, subtracting. Like, if you hang out with your friend and you're like, God, that was so fun, and there was no, like, there's no bad, like, energy or whatever, or you're not having to deal with them talking about you, or you don't feel bad when they ditch you, or, like, do you know what I mean? Like, you have to be able to, you know, say, okay, and are they adding to my life, or are they making me feel worse? And the next question is, okay, I'm really gonna wrap this up because I have to go get my nails and it's 12:37 and my appointment's at 1, so we gotta hurry this up. And I can do a part 2. I have so many more questions, and I know I'm going really in depth with these questions, but I really wanted just to chat with you guys. Okay, next question. How do you stay so positive? Honestly, to be, like, really cliche, like, I honestly think it's just, like, me as a person. I think being positive is a choice. I think you have the choice to be like, hey, like, I want to be sad right now. I think it's okay to be sad. I actually think being sad is good. I just think it's not okay to, like, sit in that sadness. I don't know. I think being positive, it really comes down to a hard choice. Like, you could choose to not be positive. You could choose to be petty. You could choose to be angry. But why? Like, why would you want to live your life like that? Like, what happened to you, if you're paralyzed, whatever happened to you, if it's some sort of traumatic situation, or even not a traumatic situation, you could choose to sit on the things that make your life worse, or you could choose to sit on the things that make your life better. And I just way rather choose to sit on the things that make my life better. So that's pretty much all I have to say about that. But yeah. Someone asked to see a picture before I was injured. Bam, pop it up. That's a picture of me before I was injured. I was 12, 13 then, so. What is the coolest experience you've had since being paralyzed? I've had a lot of cool experiences. All the news interviews, being on podcasts, starting Single Soul, being able to water ski, camps I've gone to. Like, I've had so many amazing experiences. So I don't know. I don't think I could pick one. Why did you start a clothing brand? I think I talked about it earlier in this video, but I really struggled with confidence after my injury, and I didn't talk about it much, but I felt like subconsciously I think I did, and I didn't even really realize I did. But I was so worried about what other people thought of me, even when they were staring at me. Strangers were staring at me, and I was like, why are they staring at me? And as soon as I started figuring out, like, my fashion and figuring out, like, what I liked and figuring out, like, you know, my personal style, I feel like, honestly, my confidence just went up. Because even at school now, like, whenever I'm wearing a cute outfit, I'm like, okay, they're staring at me, but, like, my outfit's cute. Like, I just have another layer of confidence. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like it makes me look, quote unquote, like, more normal when I have on a cute outfit. And I feel like people see that and they're like, okay, yeah, I wonder what happened to her, but, like, God, her outfit's cute. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if that's even what people think, but, like, that's in my head. Even if they don't think that, like, as long as I think that, like, I don't know, it just gives me so much more confidence whenever I have a cute outfit. So I just wanted other people to feel that way, like, to put on an outfit. And it's a mood changer, honestly. Like, if I'm not feeling confident in my outfit, I guarantee my day is worse because I don't feel confident in my outfit. So I know that might sound stupid to some people, and some people might not relate to that, but for me, that's kind of why I started my clothing brand, because I wanted other people to feel like that in our clothes. So, and I love fashion. Like, I've always loved fashion. This is my dream job, and I'm so happy that I get to do this 16. Like, that's so cool. So, yeah. Next question. When you're sad, how do you get out of that headspace? Again, I feel like it's just a choice. Like, I let myself feel the way I feel, and I'm really working on trying, and I've come so far, like, y'all, of not getting mad at myself for feeling the way I do, but letting myself feel that way, and then waking up the next morning, go to CrossFit, do something I love, and, you know, just do something that makes me happy. Another thing is journaling. I love journaling. I've been journaling since 2020, and it's almost 2022, and I love to see my progress when I look back at things. And in some ways my life is very similar, in some ways it's very different. So it's also really cool because I feel like I've really looked at friendships and like seen that, okay, this was a problem then, it's a problem now maybe I should do something about it and not just let this still happen. And I don't know if that makes sense, but it's really, those are like the number 2 things, is let myself feel that way, wake up the next day, do something I love, and journal. Also, I feel like a lot of times I get sad at night because I'm alone and I'm scrolling through social media and I'm seeing everyone's best life. And I know, when I see that, I have to think, okay, look at what you post. You post the best moments. You're not posting yourself crying. Like, so I just have to think about that whenever, you know, I look at other people's lives on social media, because again, it's all a choice to put what you want out there. But it is hard in the moment, like I know. But yeah. Do I like to read? I do like to read. I wish I could do it more, but I'm so busy with school. And I feel like it's something I could prioritize. That's the thing. Another thing with school is there's so much I'd want to do with my life. Like, I'd love to be able to like play the guitar. I'd love to speak Spanish. But it's like, I feel like I can't because I don't have time. But I don't know. I do like to read. I read a lot during quarantine and I miss it, but I need to get back into that on the weekends. What made you love fashion? I remember being like 7 and watching Project Runway with my mom every Friday. Like, I've always loved fashion. Like, even like high fashion, like everyday fashion. Like, I've been a fashion icon since I was born. Thank you, Christy, for that one. I want to answer so many more, but I really have to go. So I'm going to do one more question. Someone asked me, how do I drive? Can you make a video on that? Yes, I can. I drive with hand controls, very normal. I transfer in and out of my car. I'm going to make a whole video on transfers really soon. So I'm really, really excited for that. But yeah, there's so many on here I would love to answer. Oh my God. Okay, maybe one more. Who's your inspiration? I love Chelsea Hill, which is weird because like, I feel like that I've never had like a real like inspiration, but I just love how she really made her dreams come true after being paralyzed, and she's a great role model. So I highly, if you don't know who she is, she's awesome. She worked out and she's just I don't know, I love her like vlogs. I love her Instagram page. Like, I love her fashion. Like, I just think she's a really cool person. There's other people too. I think the Rolettes is a cool team for women and just like empowerment. There's so many people I look up to. Yeah, I don't know, but that's one person. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I have so many more questions, so if you guys want a part 2, I totally can do that. I know this video was long, but I love you all so much and thank you for supporting me. And I'm so excited to see what the future holds with my YouTube channel and my life and just everything. So I hope you got something from this video and maybe got some perspective from me. I don't know. But I love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.